So I think this is my third box today. I've really gotten into this. I also built up my shelves. Why not? I'll just tilt it up, see if we can. Okay, so maybe you can't see that well, but you can see that I've started putting together a wall of things to hold whatever comes out of these boxes. At some point, I guess I'll do a little photo tour of that after it's more in place. But anyway, for right now, we are looking at box number 1. No idea what's in here. It was very heavy, so it's probably at least some books. The question is, which ones? Are they YouTube friendly? Let's find out. All right. Okay, clothing. Oh God, there's gonna be some cute ass shit in here. Good book, obviously. Oh man, Quark Express 7. I used to be an absolute whiz at Quark Express 3, for what that's worth. I mean, I made a lot of money doing that. Some kind of interface. Oh, good music stuff. Awesome. And Lamotte. Set of harmonicas. God help my neighbors. Oh, this is all Velcro doesn't matter. A bunch of these really cute little things that I got as a set. Little tiny beanie animals. I had them lined up on a shelf, and I'll probably do that again. Very cute. Little bear. There goes little bear. Bike pump. And a stack of my old headshots. Oh man, I tried to get it. Oh, this was actually in San Francisco. This was my musician headshot. You can see because I was actually a member of AFM, the American Federation of Musicians. Never went anywhere. There wasn't any real musician union power in San Francisco when I was doing this, which would have been early 2000s. Yeah, it would have been 2000, because at the same time I was a real estate agent. I never had any gigs. I jammed with the other union members a couple times, but oh snap, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. This is something kind of funny. This is the company my mother used to work for in the 80s and 70s and 80s, and you can tell the era because of the name of the company, Family AIDS. That did not make it through the 80s. My mother was a healthcare administrator. Man, but look at that. The battery's still going after being in storage for a few years, so good on you. Some of my old business cards at lynda.com, which I have done courses for about 14 years or so. Yeah, they were bought by LinkedIn. It's now LinkedIn Learning, who in turn was bought by Microsoft, but I get royalty checks, so I like them very much. A few converter type things, another little beanie raccoon. That's nice. Effect pedal, and now that I actually have an amp and a guitar, I can give that a whirl. Can't play guitar very well, but what can you do? This is cool. It's an address tag from, wow, 30 to 32 Groveland in Oberlin, Ohio. I lived there the summer of 1986. I decided to leave my hometown of Mount Kisco as early as I could after I turned 18 in May, graduated in June, rented a place for $70 a month because at the time there really wasn't a market during the summer. So they just had all these empty buildings. Lots of stories. Maybe I'll get to them sometime. Oh, a flute, which I think I had somebody check out and he said that it was crap. Wouldn't be worth saving. Oh well. Sic Transit Gloria Mundi. Ah, some nice paper. Oh man. So this was my least successful book by a long shot. It was a strange kind of format, to be honest. Drupal 7 Visual Quick Start Guide, and I think that this was sort of ill-conceived. People weren't going to be looking at a book to figure out how to do things on Drupal. But yeah, I wrote it. I still have some copies. It is what it is. They paid me in advance, no love lost. A bunch of old TV guides. This is from before my time, but wow, oh my God. now that I'm into the box, I feel I have to finish it. This is going to take a while. I'll try to make it a little bit quicker because there's some really important stuff in here to me. When I was a kid, I was deep into dolphins. And in here are some of the dolphin things that I had on my shelf. Let's see. Well, actually, this is not just dolphins. It's all kind of sort of miscellaneous stuff I had on my shelves in Ohio. So I guess that's not as big a deal. Now, I mentioned TV guides. I actually collected every week's TV guides starting in 1978. And I hid them from my family because, you know, they didn't want me collecting junk. And, you know, I have some sympathy for that. But I think I went for something like, well, I was starting in 78, so it couldn't have been more than 8 years. But I went for at least 5 years without missing a single issue or missing one issue. It would come into the house. I would, oh yeah, there we go. There's my old address, the address that I grew up at. Let's see if I can get, yeah, it's my mother's name. Yeah, collected these for years, had them hidden, and finally my parents did discover the collection under my bed, and they said, you know what? If you're that into it, God bless you, or whatever atheists say. Nice old magazine. I'll just do this so that I can focus properly. There we go. Now this is what caught my eye. Take a look at the name at the bottom of this. What year was this? 50s, I think. This set of exercises. I just want to see what year this is. 1968, 1965. But anyway, that's my father. Yeah, and this is what he was doing around the time well, 65 was when my brother was born. 69, I was 1 year old. So, and you know what? I've never actually looked through these. I know they exist. And the real interesting part here is about the authors. Conrad Geller teaches English at Horace Greeley High School in Chappaqua, New York, with degrees from Harvard and Massachusetts State College at Fitchburg. Mr. Geller participated in the work on the Commission of English, blah, 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 blah. Cool. Yeah, I've never had a complete, his complete resume. I mean, I sort of had an idea of what he did before I was born, but not a lot. So, wow. Another one by him. Ooh, it looks like a bunch of comics. I think this was all comics by friends or like zines that I picked up. So it's basically zines. It's a little easier for me to do in this direction, sorry. I don't remember some of these. Man, my collection's too big. Oberlin Comics. Oh, that's right. It was probably some Oberlin Comics, some student comics. Yeah, I subscribed to that for a while. Anyway, that's pretty cool. I don't remember any of it standing out, but okay. And in the bottom of the box, this is a really interesting thing. There's too much in here. Okay, I'll just start with these two. So Sarah Kahn was a student the same age as I was, my first year at Oberlin, 1986 to 87. And we were all on this time-sharing system, VAX VMS system. So it was kind of the early chat before the internet. This was before the internet. We were on something called DECnet. Hadn't been connected together yet. Well, that's not completely true. TCP/IP came in 1983. I was there in 1986, blah, blah, blah. Point being, we weren't on the internet. We just talked amongst ourselves at Oberlin. And she wrote this fantastic fiction and posted it in her home directory and left it open for everybody. It was a science fiction story whose name I now forget. It might have been Pulp. But her friend she was oddly, although we were in Ohio, she was a student of my father in Chappaqua, New York. And we talked a little bit about that. I don't know how much I want to reveal, but it was nice to have some of my opinions validated, is all I'll say. But the illustrations are also kind of interesting. So she wrote this together with illustrations by Barry Deutsch, who first of all introduced me to comics at Oberlin College, for which I'm grateful. And then he went on to have a career in comics. If you look up Barry Deutsch, D-E-U-T-S-C-H, you'll find some of his stuff. All right. I think the rest of this is just more very small market comics that probably aren't. Wait a second, is that in focus? Let's see. Nope, not quite. There we go. This is a comic that I think Barry Deutsch, that Barry Deutsch did. Possibly, well, it must have been after Oberlin because I remember he started something that he never finished. Yeah, this was 1990. So yeah. And then a collaborative thing they all did. So Barry and Sarah eventually lived with a few other folks, first near Boston. I forget if it was Cambridge or Alston or something like that. And they all lived in a big house together, and it was kind of an arts collective. And, good on them. I thought it was wonderful that they were doing that. This is a cartoon called A Prisoner of Ghoul Island, which I used to read, I think, in the East Bay Express in the 90s and the early 2000s. I'm not sure the date. Oh, wait, there it is. David Borchert, 1995, so actually quite early, really. But it was never published as a book, but I love them so much, so I sent him a note saying, hey, can I send you some money and just copy them all, and he did it. I have to look him up because these are really great, and I hope he's had a good career and gotten whatever he wanted out of comics. Early Peter Bagg. I wonder if that's worth anything. More Peter Bagg. Weirdo, which of course is a big Robert Crumb, Aileen Kaminsky Crumb thing. Another weirdo. So this was a comic that came out, and the funny thing is that there was later a TV show called The Critic, and no relation, and the person who did this then complained about that in amusing form. And that's it. Wow, a mixture of mass market stuff and very, very personal stuff. Good box.